Battle Through the Heavens God, The Flame Emperor Chapter 18, Go to Yuura's house and meet the enemy halfway. Ah, you're leaving so soon. Yuura was little worried just now, and her mood wasn't better, but when she heard Xiaoyan say this, she couldn't help and couldn't believe her ears. Yes, I also passed the assessment. There is no way to refine the medicinal pills in a short period of time, without the magic core in the medicinal materials. Besides, you also said that your father's time is running out, so I just want to see it first, and take advantage of the time now, Xiaoyan explained. Chairman, thank you, we'll go first. Yuura was obviously a little happy because of Xiaoyan's decision just now, so she said goodbye to Chairman Baisu and took Xiaoyan and Qing Yuan out of the association. Pay attention to safety on the road. Qingcheng is not a peaceful time. I wish your father a speedy recovery, Chairman Baisu said with concern. Then I'll thank Chairman Baisu for your words. After Yuura responded, she took Xiaoyan and Qing Yuan then disappeared from Baisu's eyesight. There are three major forces in Qingcheng, the Alchemist Association, the Yu Clan and the Lei Clan. The Alchemist Association has always maintained a neutral relationship. The relationship between the other two is also harmonious, and they develop together in Qingcheng. But there has been little conflict these years. The three of them were walking in the downtown, and Qing Yuan was walking on the road looking left and right, like a curious baby. Yuura obviously found Xiaoyan, and the fire spirit owned by Xiaoyan that should be able to save her father. Walking on the road, she was very excited. After so many searches, she finally found it. Xiaoyan also shook his head and walked straight up, following behind them to prevent accidents. Hey, be careful. Xiaoyan hurriedly stepped forward and grabbed Yuura, who was about to bump into someone else. Are you blind? You dare to hit us? A few people behind a man in black said viciously. Big brother, these two girls are so beautiful, why don't we catch them back? After a few words of ridicule, he realized that Yuura and Qing Yuan in front of them were a bit beautiful, and couldn't help but think of something wrong. One more thing is worse than one less thing. The most urgent thing now is to go back first. This is not good. Anyway, we've done so much, and there's no shortage of this time. The eyes of the men behind the man in black looked at Yuura and Qing Yuan with fiery eyes, as if they had already thought of something, and their faces were extremely wretched. All right then, let's fight quickly. The man in black was also helpless, and then a scroll-like thing was instantly crushed, and a space that was isolated from the world came quietly. Bang bang bang. The two followers attacked Yuura and Qing Yuan respectively, and their grasp seemed to be compressed by the slightest air, trying to take it down in one fell swoop. 1-star Dodi. Xiaoyan couldn't help muttering to himself, looking at the strength of the two. Xiaoyi instantly emerged from Xiaoyan's body and stabbed at the man who attacked Qing Yuan and Yuura. The terrifying temperature actually burned the two men into nothingness, well deserved. This flame is so terrifying? Ha ha ha. This flame is really strange. I think it is not an ordinary thing, so I will accept it unceremoniously. The man in black didn't notice Xiaoyan at first. Following the two women, they were usually followers, and they couldn't be too powerful. So they didn't pay attention, but now Xiaoyan summoned the fire spirit. This is different. Although the man in black did not recognize that this is a fire spirit, this kind of heaven and earth wonders are hard to find, and everyone wants to get them, and some even want to get this kind of thing. So they can do anything. Since you have been forced, then don't leave. The man in black slowly took off his cloak, revealing his original appearance. It exudes an evil aura. Looking closely, the white hair is obviously caused by cultivation, which makes people feel a little uneasy. The terrifying and evil aura emanated from the man in black, surrounded him, making Xiaoyan feel a little numb. This aura should have reached the peak of a 3-star Dodi, Xiaoyan said slowly looking at the aura emanating from the man in black in front of him. I'm sorry to cause you trouble, I'll stop him later. You run away, you still have a fire spirit on your body, you are the most important person to save my father, I will protect you even if I die. Yuura frowned, bit her lower lips lightly and said seriously to Xiaoyan. Don't worry, since I promised you, I won't break my promise. Besides, I don't have the habit of hiding behind women. Xiaoyan looked at the stubborn Yuura and comforted her. What about the man in black with the 3-star Dode? After the last words are explained, you can die. Don't worry, after you die, I will cut you with 1,000 swords and take out your fire spirit. I will also love these 2 female companions by your side. Ha ha ha. The man in black laughed. In the small enclosed space of the man in black, unless it is a 4-star dote, it is impossible to break through this space, and fighting in this space has some enhancement to the man in black himself, and it has also caused Xiao Yan's strength to weaken. This is the roar of fearless. The corpse turns into a bone hand. The man in black launched an attack on Xiao Yan. A palm attacked Xiao Yan with extreme speed, and the palm exuded incomparably evil power, as if there were some huge palm phantoms looming in the palm. Great Heaven's creation palm. The terrifying heaven-level do skill was instantly displayed from Xiao Yan's hands. With their palms facing each other, the evil and uncomfortable aura on the bone demon hand merged with the strong aura on the Great Heaven's creation palm. Boom boom boom. Violent energy ripples came round after round. Although the palm-to-hand with Xiao Yan just now seemed ordinary, people with discernment had already seen that Xiao Yan, who was helped by a heavenly flames, obviously had the upper hand, while the man in black fell. Yuuru always thought that Xiao Yan was only skilled in refining medicine, and was not skilled in actual combat, because many alchemist masters needed protection in actual combat. But from the battle between Xiao Yan and the man in black just now, Yuuru discovered that she was wrong. Xiao Yan seemed to have not only made great achievements in refining medicine, but also did not lose himself in actual battles, so she couldn't help but have different emotions towards Xiao Yan. Brother Xiao Yan, this man in black is the murderer who attacked the Mu family. Qing Yuan vaguely remembered that the one who attacked the Mu family that night was also with this evil aura. And even though it was very late that night, Qing Yuan remembered all the aura of the murderer, so he could point out this time again. It turns out that you are the murderer of the Mu family. It's really unfortunate. Since you also want my flame, let's see if you have the ability, then don't leave, and stay for the people of the Mu family. And apologize. Xiao Yan heard Qing Yuan's words and approached the man in black. Originally, he said that when Yuuru's business was over, he would go to find the murderer of the Mu family to avenge Qing Yuan's revenge, and then he would fulfill her wish. I never thought that this would save a lot of trouble. Why does this breath feel a little weird? It seems to be the aura of the demons. The Golden Dragon King and the demons fought tens of thousands of times, and they were so familiar with their auras that he immediately said angrily, "Can you handle it?" The Golden Dragon King asked Xiao Yan slowly. Skyfire 3 Mysterious Change. Clan Tattoo, activate. The terrifying energy ripples slowly calmed down. How can it be? 3-star Dode. The man in black couldn't help but lose his voice. He still had the strength he had relied on, but in Xiao Yan's roar, he felt a sense of fear. This kid actually has such a terrifying. Chapter 19, Battle against the peak of a 3-star Dode. However, there are so many secrets in you, kid. First, there is a flame spirit, then the secret method of increasing your strength in a short time, and the heavenly flames. My interest in you is getting bigger and bigger. That's it. Although the man in black was a little surprised, the strength between the Dote is not something that can be resisted by the increase of the little secret method, and the external force is strong after all. However, the secret method is an external force, and it is not on the same level as the real 3-star Dote. Now I will show you the real 3-star Dote strength. Everything you rely on is ultimately vulnerable in the face of absolute strength, so let me smash your secret method. The man in black looked at Xiao Yan with disdain. There's a lot of nonsense. Xiao Yan also said to the man in black, since the man in black in front of him was the murderer of the Mu family, then he couldn't let him go. The incomparably tyrannical fighting spirit continued to radiate from the man in black, and the huge power was vaguely transformed into a dragon hovering above the man in black, roaring constantly. Qing Yuan and Yuuru felt the terrifying fluctuations from the energy dragon above the man in black. Xiao Yan was quietly brewing something in the palm of his hand, and quietly looked at the man in black in front of him. Xiao Yan, if it doesn't work, we will retreat first. Yuuru knew very well the strength of Dote's powerhouses. Yuuru's words are not only for Xiao Yan to save her father's life, but more importantly, she cares about him. It's all my own reasons that cause trouble, so I can't help but blame myself. Since I met them, I'll solve it myself. Besides, if you don't mess with them, they will come to you sooner or later. Xiao Yan seemed to see what Yuuru was thinking and said, The soul of a high-level alchemist is very delicious. The taste of the Mu family, a few days ago was really unforgettable, but I believe you will be more delicious. The man in black looked at Xiaoyan greedily with a twisted face. You are the murderers of the Mu family, right? Xiaoyan was also clear in his mind, and immediately asked. Anyway, you are all going to die, so what if you know it? The Mu family has got their hands on something that shouldn't be touched, so they deserves it. The man in black obviously thought that Xiaoyan will die in his hands, as he told to Xiaoyan and the others as if the winner was speaking to the loser. Is it something that shouldn't be involved? I'm very curious about the kind of thing you said. Why not give it to me? Xiaoyan said maliciously. Ha ha ha, you kid can't protect yourself and you still think so much. The man in black mocked with disdain. I think it's you who can't protect yourself. Golden demon puppet, come out. A puppet comparable to a 2-star dode? You really are full of treasures. Before the man in black finished speaking, the golden demon puppet attacked him with his golden fist covered. Boom boom boom. The fist of the man in black and the fist of the golden demon puppet faced each other. One punch fell. The man in black took a few steps back, due to the strength of the golden demon puppet fists before stabilizing his figure, while the golden demon puppet gray pupils and the golden bronze body didn't fluctuate a little bit, in a posture of punching. Obviously, after the enhancement from the 9-color pill lightning, although it has not fully evolved to the level of the golden demon puppet, the current golden demon puppet's strength is not weak at all, although this puppet is not stronger than the black-clothed person in front of him. Xiaoyan used it for his advantage. How is that possible? This puppet is little weird. The man in black didn't think that a puppet that was comparable to a 2-star dode would be that strong. He discovered that this puppet was actually covered with the power of lightning. That seemingly simple punch, in fact, the entire fist is covered with the power of lightning, attacking with the power of lightning? No wonder the puppet can make himself take a few steps back before he stabilizes his footsteps. Although the golden demon puppet gained the upper hand at the beginning, after the man in black became wary, the golden demon puppet was also losing ground under the complete strength of the 3-star dode of the man in black. The original simple golden and bronze body was obviously swept away by the black hole. Xiaoyan couldn't help but feel a little bit distressed when he saw how many holes were beaten. The battle between the golden demon puppet and the man in black is going on continuously. Looking at the golden demon puppet who is about to lose, Yuero and Qing Yuan are also biting their lips, because they both know that once the golden demon puppet is defeated, next will be Xiaoyan. Huangqin's anger. Xiaoyan finally completed the fusion of Angry Buddha's fire lotus. A delicate lotus seed suspended in Xiaoyan's palm exudes terrifying power. Just when the man in black was complacent, Xiaoyan completed the fusion of the Huangqin's anger and Angry Buddha's fire lotus, but he did not rush to take action, because Xiaoyan also knew that a strong man like the man in black would perceive the power of destruction in the face of it. It was immediately a soul attack first that went away. Once the soul attack succeeds, causing the man in black to fall into a temporary stagnation, that's the best time to attack with the Angry Buddha's fire lotus. Moreover, Xiaoyan believed that only then would the winner be determined with one blow. Huangqin's anger came quietly when the man in black was proud to deal with the golden demon puppet. Puff puff. The man in black spit out a mouthful of blood, but he didn't stagnate. Damn it, did I fail? Xiaoyan murmured while looking at the man in black. Cough, cough, it's such a powerful soul force. Thankfully, I prepared a hand when dealing with you alchemists, just to prevent your soul from attacking. The only ring on the man in black's finger was broken. Obviously, most of Xiaoyan's soul attacks were resisted by the power of the ring that resisted soul force, so it didn't cause much damage to the man in black. Are you helpless? Then die. The man in black roared loudly. The dragon entrenched on top of his head also solidified at this moment, and roared towards Xiaoyan. The dragon roared towards Xiaoyan from the top of his head, and the air was full of the sound of breaking wind. The power of this dragon could not help but make Xiaoyan feel numb in his scalp. Seeing this, Xiaoyan also turned the Angry Buddha's fire lotus in his hand, slowly lifted up, to meet the dragon that fly away. For some reason, the man in black suddenly shouted. Xiaoyan knew very well that this was obviously a symptom of a soul attack. It turned out that at this critical moment, Qing Yuan worked hard to stimulate his own vindictiveness, and a white light radiated from Qing Yuan to attack the man in black. The soul attack that Qing Yuan had just launched was even stronger than Xiao Yan's Huangquan's anger. What secrets does this Qing Yuan have? Even though Xiao Yan was puzzled at the moment, the crisis had not been resolved at this time, and he couldn't let go of this fleeting opportunity. He raised the angry Buddha's fire lotus in his hand and threw it at the stagnant black-clothed man. Because the man in black was attacked by his soul and fell into a temporary stagnation, the terrifying dragon that he had just condensed also vanished in an instant. Boom boom boom. The angry Buddha's fire lotus directly attacked the place where the man in black was. The terrifying destructive power destroyed this small piece of sky, and all of his followers evaporated, and Xiao Yi emitted a huge protective shield to protect Yuara and Qing Yuan, who fell into a coma. Xiao Yan was also panting heavily, looking at the place in the center of the explosion, muttering to himself, "I hope you don't die, I have to let Qing Yuan." Chapter 20, Demons? The angry Buddha's fire lotus has always been Xiao Yan's biggest killer moves. When in Dochi continent, Xiao Yan used the flame mantra to forcibly fuse a variety of heavenly fires into a tiny lotus seed with terrifying power, finding the right opportunity to inflict heavy damage on the enemy. Since obtaining the inheritance of the ancient emperor Tuashi, with the power of the first flame emperor on the heavenly fire list, the fusion of heavenly fire has become much smoother, and the power is also much stronger. Although Xiao Yan has his master's ring, what ancient Taoshi left behind, Emperor's Flame Ring, there are also a lot of medicinal herbs and dough skills in it, but since Xiao Yan just arrived to Daodi continent, he has no time to study it carefully, and the other is that there is no suitable place, and now Xiao Yan is facing with the strong enemy. Although there are few dough skills that he can use to attack, but he chooses to rely on the violent force of the fusion of heavenly fires to kill. Boom boom boom. The terrifying strong force rippled in circles and circled spaced. A huge tunnel appeared where the man in black was located, and the aftermath spread out in circles, and after a while, there was smoke. After dispersing, in the huge tunnel, a mutilated figure slowly appeared in front of several people. Originally, the man in black was a little disdainful to Xiao Yan, who used the secret method to increase his strength. He thought that Xiao Yan is just like an ant in his hands that he could easily kill. How could he imagine that this kind of ant could actually display such a terrifying destructive force, that he almost died? This Xiao Yan in front of him is really damn. Xiao Yan looked carefully at the man in black who survived from the blast, who only lost one hand and one foot. It was caused by the angry Buddha's fire lotus, which was bred by combining the destructive power of the 6 heavenly fires, and it also fell into a short stagnation after the soul attack of Qing Yuan's full-strength strike. The man in black only means of defending against Xiao Yan's soul attack, but it was shattered by Qing Yuan's soul attack, before only Xiao Yan's strongest attack caused the man in black a heavy damage. That man in black with a peak of a 3-star dode would be so terrifying. The black-clothed man's broken hands and feet continued to have some dark black blood flowing out, giving people a pungent smell of blood from afar. Little bastard, you can actually force me to be so embarrassed. I have to kill you today to sacrifice to my demons. The man in black roared at Xiao Yan with an unsightly face. Xiao Yan looked at the ferocious face of the man in black before subconsciously make a move, because even though the man in black suffered such heavy damage, the aura emanating from his body is even stronger now. Because of Xiao Yan's years of combat experience, he knew that the man in black in front of him was going to use his trump card. Even if they die together, all dead souls obey my orders. Sacrifice. The man in black took out a bag with his only remaining hand, and shouted loudly. Immediately, some soul bodies flew out of the bag that the man in black took out, all of them flying into the sky. Just drown in this darkness. Ha ha ha. After speaking, the unsightly body of the man in black burst into flames. Xiao Yan felt the smell of destruction from the actions of the man in black, and the attack that was almost on the verge of being shot had to stop under the demonic energy that filled the sky. Pieces of dark aura slowly floated into the sky from where the man in black was, forming a huge figure. The original face of the man in black was projected into a huge evil figure in the sky. Except for the head, the whole body of the huge figure was covered with dense human heads. Damn it! Master, what should we do? Xiao Yan asked in a deep voice. Indeed, the situation in front of him has surpassed Xiao Yan's understanding, and immediately he had to ask his master, the Golden Dragon King, for help. It's actually the dead soul control method of the corpse demon family. The Golden Dragon King exclaimed in surprise inside Xiaoyan's ring. Don't worry about this, look at the black shadow on the ground where the man in black is standing. That means that the soul he collected has not been fully integrated into the huge evil figure in the sky. Because this corpse demon family pays attention to collecting souls and controlling corpse puppets, this is a good thing for you. The Golden Dragon King couldn't help laughing. Master, why don't we save them and don't let the soul merge like this? Xiaoyan didn't know the strength of the Golden Dragon King very well, so he couldn't help worrying. It's not impossible to save them, but according to my observations, most of the souls have been eroded by the demonic energy of the demon race, and their sanity may not be completely vanished, and these souls already know that even if they fight hard, they will inevitably be swallowed up, but if you refine them, wouldn't it be a big supplement to you? The Golden Dragon King looked at Xiaoyan and asked, as for my strength, you can rest assured. When I was at my peak, this kind of ant was not worth mentioning, even if the state of my soul is not something to be afraid of. The Golden Dragon King exuded a powerful coercion. Although the Golden Dragon King is not an alchemist, his understanding of alchemist is no worse than others. Although it is indeed too cruel to use the soul to enhance the power of the soul, it is better to help these souls to free them than to be enslaved by the demons. It will be very grateful to integrate into Xiaoyan's body, because after all, they are all strong people in the Great Thousand World, and the Great Thousand World is at odds with the demon race. Collecting souls? It's the same as the Hall of Soul on the Dochi continent back then. Although the purpose is different, the method is the same, collecting souls by killing countless of people. Xiaoyan looked at the sky, the phantom that was still strengthening. More and more souls drifted to the sky from the black smoke turned by the men in black. There are weak souls, and there are also powerful souls, but they are all merged into the shadow of the sky. Xiaoyan saw a trace of prayer in their eyes, as if they are praying for Xiaoyan to free them. After all, they are all from the great world. Even if they die, they are not willing to be used by the demons. Sissy. When the last soul merged into the shadow in the sky, the shadow exuded a monstrous and evil aura, causing the entire small space to tremble slightly. Xiaoyan looked at the huge phantom in the sky and remained silent. In the distance, Yuero had just recovered from the vibration of the angry Buddha's fire lotus, and at this moment she saw the man in black that turned into a gigantic phantom. Her little hand couldn't help covering her slightly trembling lips. Today, I'm going to die. Are you here? Qing Yuan, who was on the side, had just launched a soul attack, which obviously used all the strength of his body, and also passed out. Xiao Yi stood beside the two girls, looking like a cute porcelain doll from a distance. Xiao Yi, Yuera, take good care of Qing Yuan, stay away, trust me. Xiao Yan hurriedly comforted. Xiao Yi and Xiao Yan have a heart-to-heart connection. Naturally, they know Xiao Yan's plan. He stretched out his pink and tender little hands and pull Yuera and Qing Yuan back. Yuera said, Sister Yuera, don't worry, Master will deal with it, we have to trust Master. Seeing that Yuera was not so frightened anymore, her eyes focused on the skinny man in front of her. Master, the shadow is fully formed, what should we do? Xiao Yan listened to the words of his master, and waited until the shadow was completely condensed before asking.